Water planning for our future.
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 There is a lot of work that needs to be done to ensure that Aboriginal nations have their say in water resource planning in South Australia. That's why the South Australian Nations Water Workshop has been held here at Calpram Station in the Riverland. More than a dozen different nations from all over the Murray-Darling Basin have been invited to participate. The workshop aims to provide an overview of water resource planning and in the ways in which Aboriginal people can become involved. The importance of water to culture and the establishment of cultural water dedicated to Aboriginal culture in the same way that environmental water is dedicated to the benefit of the environment, has also been looked at by many people with many different ideas about water in the Murray-Darling Basin.
The river that we refer to, the Darling River, has always been known as Barker. And the Kanji on the end mean belonging to. So as a Barkindji person, I belong to the river. And it's my job to maintain it, look after it for future generations.
The river's been a part of us all our lives. The old people, we got fed off the rivers, swam in the rivers, and today the rivers in our eyes are unhealthy.
Cultural is quite simple. It's about our life, our lifestyle, our living lifestyle. It's about our future generation. It's about yesterday with our old people. Culture is a living thing that still is carried on with Aboriginal people today and be in tomorrow too.
It keeps us connected to the land and helps us grow up knowing about the history of the land. The water was there back in the day and now.
It's virtually our highway and our lifeblood. We always live by the water and we always use the water.
Water's life. Without water, we don't have any life. Our people, our country, everything on country depends on water. So, if we haven't got any water, we haven't got any life.
Water has been a part of our lives for 75, 80,000 years. It was part of our lives. We lived around water. We was on the water. We travelled on the water with our bark canoes. We've used it for all sorts of reasons, transport, for swimming, for drinking, for all sorts. We've all got a common thing with water. Without it, we die. We need water, every one of us. So we've been drinking water for a long time. That's why water is important to us. Plus there's ceremonial reasons. There's our food with the water, the fish, the ducks. A lot of our vegetables grew there. But now I don't think I'd eat any of the vegetables that grows there because of the pollution within the water system.
I grew up in the 60s and 70s. I remember when the river was down low, it never stopped. There was trickle in the middle of the riverbed, and I used to walk across it. Sometimes I used to jump over it, but the water was still safe to drink.
Today, the rivers in our eyes are unhealthy because of the toxics that's in the river, brought on through cotton farming and cattle and sheep. And
just the quality of the water, sometimes it's, when it comes from up north, up from the top end down to the our end, needs to be flushed and allow it to come through more naturally instead of how other people think we need it. Because at the moment the quality of the water, there's like just up by Swan Hill there's a bit of blue-green algae. We know that's going to come through. There's 400 metre, there's about 200 k's or something it's going to come down, which we need to try and get rid of before it comes down. Impacts us down here. People up at the top are getting sick and stuff. So if we had it flushed out, it'd be really good. But at the moment, there's no water in the system, so I don't know how that's going to be controlled because there's a lot of little pools at the moment. It's not a river, it's actually a whole heap of dams and pools.
When people get water licenses, the decision to give a person a license, to put a license on water, on a basic human right to drink water, to have water to be involved in water. It's something that I feel that's taken your right away from you.
Water sharing, as the word said, sharing, not keeping. So that's where you got to look at sharing the water for the environment, sharing the water for cultural, spiritual stuff, and sharing the water for agriculture. So we got to get away from this keeping the water to ourselves. That's just being greed, and greed won't get you nothing.
There are many levels of water resource planning in South Australia, and Aboriginal people need to be consulted at each of those levels. The broadest of the water resource plans is the Murray-Darling Basin Plan, and that covers the whole of the Murray-Darling Basin. Next, at the state level, South Australia needs to show how it will achieve the requirements of the Murray-Darling Basin Plan. And this is being done through the production of water resource plans.
I think we should go away from here and with a group to say, well, okay, this is what we want to do. This is how we want to put a plan in place. Look at it in a way of a human right to access water, to use it.
Out of this workshop, I'd like to see the SA government truly commit to full engagement with traditional owners on the issues of water planning in the future.
When are we going to start waking up to ourselves and say, well, enough of this? We've got to start looking at the priorities of our people, regardless of whether you're Aboriginal or non-Aboriginal. I would like to see my grandkids and great-great-grandkids see the river as I see it, and see the animals. I don't want to see them going to a zoo in the major city somewhere to have a look at a kangaroo or an emu.
With where the water resources and the ability to have our backwaters and nurseries and that all filled so we can have fish and native birds and stuff like that for future generations to continue on to eat.
In the future, my hopes are that all today's questions and today's hopes are achieved the way we want, and that the river stays as it is and it doesn't dry out, and we keep the water and hopefully bring it back to the healthy way it was and not make it worse and add anything else into the water.
South Australia has taken some first steps towards proper and respectful engagement with the Aboriginal nations who have an interest in water resource planning within the Murray-Darling Basin. A recent example of this is the Statement of Commitment drawn up between the Ngarrindjeri Regional Authority, DUNA, the Murray-Darling Basin and South East Natural Resource Management Boards, which commits them to working together to improve water resource planning.
I hope to see a lot of our people get together to make the decisions and put something to the government, put something there that they will listen to us. Because if anything, we know this land. We've been here for a long time.
I think they can do better. I mean, they've got a job and they've got to answer back to government, but government's got to be put on notice that, we want things changed for the better of the river. And, everyone can use the river, but at the moment it's farmers, agricultural stuff and everything, and we kind of get access to the river in some cases. In other places there's no water at all. So we want government people to listen instead of sitting in their chairs in their offices and stuff, and come out here and see what's going
on. I'd like to see water resource plans within South Australia and further within the entire Murray-Darling Basin system reflect the age-long connection that Aboriginal people have with our waterways, our rivers and creeks and lakes and wetlands, and the care and use of those that we've had for a very long time, and that would be reflected in the water resource plans and allow Aboriginal people access to water and also be involved in the management of water in this country in the future.
Well, what I hope to see to come out of this is, you know, that we're equal in working together with the state government, the federal government and all other stakeholders in relation to water and the plan.
I thank the people for allowing us on their country, and it's been an enjoyable 3 days, and I hope we can do it again.
Thank you for listening.
ngara yari pakana motano ngara yari pangani